I want to ask a couple last questions here before we wrap up. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs watching, and a lot of them are sitting here wondering, like, what was JP's mindset? What was his motivation? So I want to ask, obviously you wanted to create a great product, a reorderable product, serve people, help
Correct.
the world. But how much of it was, I want to make a lot of money? I mean, even if that was a parallel motivation, was that in there or not really? Was that kind of a byproduct? I mean, obviously it was important, but did you have the aspiration for hundreds of millions or billions? Or was that not really the dialogue? What was inside your head?
Absolutely not. The whole thing is, if we could only do $5 million a year, Paul, we'd make $250,000 each. We're set for life. And then as the company grew, then we realized, hey, not only could the company grow, but we could actually do things like maybe buy a nice house one day, maybe buy a new car. I never owned a new car in my life until 1985, and we started Paul Mitchell in 1980. It was the first time I had enough money and felt confident enough to actually buy my first new car. It was like, yay, I bought a new car.
What was your
America works.
What was your first splurge?
A new car. My first splurge was a new car. I bought a new car.
Sports car?
No, it was a sedan, but it was a new one. It was a Mercedes. And I just felt like on top of the world. Like Janis Joplin had a song, "Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?" You know.
Yeah, and you're just playing the music loud, finally living the American dream. So
that was great. Well, the American dream to me is to be happy, have the opportunity, whether you're working for someone else or whether you start your own business, to be happy and be able to have enough money to buy yourself a house and live okay. That's the American dream, and have a shot at having a big business or little business on your own and making some money for a better life for your family. That's a dream, to keep on going up, having that opportunity. That dream is still alive. Today, inflation is not 12.5%.
Right.
Unemployment is not 10.5%. Interest rates are not 17%, lowest interest rate. And our unemployment today, my God, is less than 4%, you know? So they have a better opportunity today to be able to start a business than ever before, and you have the internet. In my day, you didn't. And we had telephones we would dial or push the button on. We didn't have all cell phones. The cell phones were this big, if you could afford one. I think when we were 4 or 5 years in business, I bought one of those big ones.
So when you see the generation now, you think, man, you guys have so many tools. You have no excuse to not get moving,
none
right?
whatsoever, sure, no.
So, okay, when you see entrepreneurs now, what do you think most of them are doing ineffectively? Because I'm sure at this level, you've dealt with many CEOs who do really well. You've seen people crash and burn. What do you notice are patterns of executives or leaders who build companies that actually work? Does it speak just to what you've already said about quality products, putting people first? I mean, what is the common denominator among companies and leaders that succeed versus those who constantly fail?
It's all that you said, but I would throw in their rejection. And it's only human nature. When people keep rejecting your friends, your family, this is not going to work, you shouldn't be doing this, do something else. No, the person doesn't want to buy it. If you know your product or your service is the best you could possibly do, and you will overcome rejection, you're going to have a heck of a good chance of making it. Having that positive attitude of drive. Look at Fred Smith, Federal Express. Several times he was turned down. He just kept on going for it. Now it's just a huge company. But there are many companies like that, to give you an example. Many. You got to stick with what you believe in. Some are going to make it and some won't. I've started other entrepreneur jobs along the way, or businesses that just didn't make it, but you learn.
Yeah, and of course, we only hear about the successes.
That's correct.
We only hear about the Paul Mitchells and the Patrons.
That's correct.
So, okay, quick question. What's the worst advice you've ever gotten in your career?
Oh, I got a lot of bad advice, Mike. I couldn't tell you the worst because there were probably several worse suggestions, like, oh, put some money in that, and it just didn't work out. There were several along the way. I couldn't pick out any one as the worst one, but there's several. We all get several things. We make a decision, and oh my God, I was given advice and that was wrong. All you do is learn from it. Try not to make that same mistake again. And if you make it a second time, shame on you. Make sure there's never a third.
What's the best advice that you would give somebody else looking to build a big business, build a meaningful business, impact the world? What would be, John Paul, looking back on your years, what would be your best advice to people out there looking to make their life work?
A combination of make your product or service the best it is, so you can be in the reorder business, not in the order business. Number 2, don't give up. Be prepared for a lot of rejection. And then remember, successful people do all the things unsuccessful people don't want to do, like work from morning till night, work on the weekends, not give up. And the most important thing is, as you grow, remember this: success unshared is failure. You want to be happy in your life and take care of your people.
I love that. Okay, now this is the last question before we play a game. So typically at the end of every interview, we play a game called First Things First, where I rifle off 10 words or phrases, and it's like a relation game. You tell me the first word or phrase that comes to mind. But before that, I have one last question, and that is, for people watching this that have seen what you've built in the world, have seen what you've done, the impacts, they followed your story through the roller coaster, maybe they've watched Good Fortune, and they themselves might be stuck in a rut. Maybe their business is not doing so hot. Maybe they're a salesperson and they're debating quitting. Maybe their relationship's not doing so hot. Or maybe they're in a successful business but they're unfulfilled. I'm sure you've seen it. But they're just stuck in life. What would be John Paul DeJoria's best piece of advice to somebody out there who's just stuck and looking to make their life work?
Go rent it or buy, it's only a few dollars now, Good Fortune, the documentary movie. And you'll see what I mean once you see it, okay? It covers several times of being stuck, several times of being everything you could possibly imagine in your life, but how to overcome it with kindness in a good way. Watch that. I think it's going to answer your questions.
I love that. Okay, so you ready for the game?
Sure.
All right, here we go. So again, 10 words or phrases, first word that comes to mind. The only rule is that you can't repeat yourself twice. Make sense? So the first word or phrase that comes to
Sure,
mind.
let's give it a try.
All right, first word, money.
To me, popped up mobile loaves and fishes because I was able to give them more money for the homeless people, building an ecological center for them that gives you entrepreneurship and work.
Challenges.
Oh my gosh, all the ones I've been through for the last 74 years.
Homelessness.
I've been there twice.
Your dreams.
My dreams are still my dreams. And when it turns out in my life that my regrets take the place of my dreams, then I'm getting old.
Passion.
How you truly feel. Passion is so strong. It's got to be part of what you do. You're passionate about it, not just do it because you have to.
The $5.1 billion acquisition with Bacardi and Patron.
Very nice valuation on the company. Very nice valuation. Hit a home run, did something really, really good, and gives me the opportunity to do other things and be very proud of being the founder of Patrón Spirits.
What your mom would say if she saw you right now in this office and what you built in the world.
Johnny, I love you. That's my boy.
Your wishes for people out there watching this interview who want to make their life work.
To make your life work, be sure that you look at those around you to make their life work at the same time. Then you move forward together. The frequency of this planet is rising. Every one of you out there, I don't care how old you are, I've noticed this last year went by faster than any year in your life. The frequency is rising. Things are happening quicker. As you do things, make sure others in your life are part of it. Don't just single yourself out. And as you go along, help others along the way.
Beautifully put. And then teamwork.
Teamwork is so important. If you are the boss and you have people telling them what to do without them being part of it, you're not going to accomplish anything. A great example is when I was in the Navy. I went right out of high school, just an ordinary guy. But in the Navy, they teach ordinary guys like me and others how to work together as a team and achieve extraordinary results. We do that in our businesses.
And then the last one, you ready? It's more of a question. Does money buy happiness?
Money helps with happiness because you don't have to worry about not sleeping. It helps, but does it buy total happiness? Absolutely not. I know of some people that are very, very well off that aren't really happy or are over egotistical with themselves. They're only happy when something good happens to them, not for others. To me, success unshared is failure.
So what is happiness to you? This is the final question. What does happiness truly mean to John Paul DeJoria?
Happiness to me is how you feel. Wake up in the morning with a happy face, knowing what you do is the greatest good for the greatest number, and that you're benefiting others on this planet while you're here. A little bit like paying some rent for being on the planet Earth and being fortunate enough to have a good life for you and your family.
I love that. I feel like you would be just as happy whether you were a billionaire or not. You would be in this mindset. Would you agree?
Yeah, I've been a pretty happy guy most of my life.
Yeah, the money definitely helps the situation, though.
Money helps the situation, of course it does. But if I had a choice of being wealthy but not as happy as I am, or as happy as I was when I wasn't wealthy, or trade it, and I take the happiness. In my opinion, in priorities in life are happiness first, health second, and wealth is the next one. Happiness and health. Those are two things that are the most precious things you could have in your life.
If you guys enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now because every week we bring you the very best in personal development content, interviews, and insight to help inspire you to take your life and your dreams and make them a reality. And also, if you want to know how to book dream guests the same way I have, you can check the link below for my top 3 secrets. So if you have a podcast or a show or whatever it is and you want to collaborate with them, if you click that link below, I'll give you those top 3 secrets to help you get in touch with anybody. And also, don't forget that The Passionate Few is available on media platforms as well. So you can subscribe to the podcast. And until next time, thank you for being one of the passionate few.